The recent allegations against Daniel Greene have sparked a wave of emotional and heated opinions throughout the book community. But here's the truth, and not a lot of people like this statement. Allegations do not equate guilt. Before jumping to conclusions, we need to take a step back and remember that accusation should never be mistaken for proof. Emotions have been running high, and too many people already assume the worst. In fact, my previous video where I did not address the situation was partly a test, a way to gauge how people would react to the news, intentionally worded, especially at the beginning, to get an emotional response. I wanted to see how you would react, your comments, your opinions, and I wanted them unfiltered. Thank you. It was eye-opening, and honestly kind of disheartening. Many people made videos jumping to conclusions within seconds of it coming out. And I'm going to say this, maybe next time something like this happens, book community people, don't make the video in the first place. It also puts you in a very legal situation. It also goes to show how willing people are to throw people under a bus to get attention. While the story in my video was completely true, the reaction to it has been fascinating, and we're going to break that down today. But also, let's be honest, the spread of misinformation by Naomi King and the importance of waiting on a full story before passing judgment. People need to learn that art. So let's put this stupidly high IQ to a test, be a grifter, and just let's burn everyone down, shall we? I'm Will, I host the Bold Book Geek Light sub. Tell me what you think in the comments below. And check out memberships and Patreon for content you'll never get anywhere else. First and foremost, we must remember that an allegation is just that, an accusation. It does not automatically mean the person being accused is guilty. Unfortunately, in the age of social media, an accusation can spiral quickly into a public courtroom, and this has happened many times. But it's also been the case with Daniel Greene, who has been the subject of widespread speculation and judgment. But when did people get so reactionary? How much of it was virtue signaling? How much was fake? It's interesting. We need to keep in mind that without all the facts, it's impossible to know what's going on behind the scenes in any situation, good, bad, or otherwise. And too often, a single claim, true or false, can blow into a viral storm, and it's easy to get swept up in the chaos. People make assumptions and pass judgment based on incomplete or misleading information, which only fuels the fire. This is exactly what happened with Daniel Greene, and it's important to remind yourselves that you didn't have a full picture, and your apology videos are hilarious. And I'm also going to remind people in this situation that, let's be real, let's say the quiet part out loud that people don't want to talk about. False accusations cost lives. So, let's go. One of the most frustrating aspects of this situation has been the knee-jerk reaction from many people in the book community. After my video was released, I observed just how quickly people jumped to conclusions without bothering to ask questions or seek clarity. Either being angry that I didn't talk about the accusations or take sides, angry that I made the video in the first place, or just siding with people without taking a full, honest look at a situation. It was fascinating. And the rush to judgment does nothing but harm on everyone. When someone we admire is accused of something, it's natural to feel upset, betrayed, or confused. But that's exactly why people need to take a step back. Don't let your emotions rule your thinking. Knee-jerk reactions made without careful thought only fuel the dumpster fire. They don't allow for reason or critical thinking to take the lead. We need to ask ourselves, do we really know the full story? Are we basing our reactions on available facts, or are we simply reacting to an emotional reaction, effectively, the intensity of a situation? The book community should take more responsibility in being more thoughtful and push for more thoughtful reactions, to pause and think before we speak. Reacting impulsively only makes the situation more complicated and often causes unnecessary harm to those involved. Unfortunately, the situation which started with Naomi King, who has been one of the loudest voices. So I have questions for Naomi. Are you going to give the money back? So many holes in the story. So many key facts missing. And I genuinely believe Daniel Greene handled this situation with grace. I also hope Daniel Greene pursues a lot of legal action. Let's be real here, and I do support that false accusations should be a criminal offence. Naomi, instead of approaching the issue with honesty and integrity, chose to spread misinformation to support a fake narrative. The video was was manipulative. It was intentionally there to get a reaction written that way. But the actions didn't stop there. After the lies spread and then began to unravel, there was the apology video. This was embarrassing as it was insincere, rather than offering a genuine apology, which, if you want the honest truth, doesn't matter in this situation, because the amount of harm done is ridiculous, and doubling down on Instagram has also been ridiculous. But Naomi didn't take full responsibility for the harm that was caused. Naomi's video was full of excuses, deflection, and a lack of true remorse, and if you want my honest opinion, was a failed attempt to save face, not to actually mend the damage done by the lies. This kind of behaviour not only harms the person accused, but also damages trust on a level that's quite amazing. Naomi didn't just start the chaos. Naomi actively contributed to it, and worsened it by being dishonest and attempting to cover the tracks in a half-hearted, shameful way. Lies have complicated a situation, and a weak apology does nothing to anything to help the harm that's been done. The whole situation highlighted something that's been on my mind for a while. The rush to judgment that runs rampant in the book community. When an allegation surfaces, too many people jump to conclusions without waiting for more information. We've seen this firsthand with accusations against Daniel Greene. Instead of approaching a situation with a critical mindset, many people have taken sides and made assumptions based on limited information. The book community should be a place of thoughtful discussion, critical thinking, and reasoned judgment. But in my own experience, I'm asking way too much. Far too many people are more interested in feeding the drama and rushing to take sides than they are at looking at the truth. This is damaging. And when you allow your emotions to cloud your judgment, you lose sight of what matters the most, finding truth and treating everyone with fairness and respect. If the book community continues down the path, that already much of it is a dumpster fire, let's be honest, the knee-jerk reactions and emotional outbursts reign supreme, and the book community should do better. People should be demanding more from themselves. Thoughtful discussions, patience, and critical thinking should be the foundation of any conversation, and people need to take a step back and remind themselves there's always more to a story than meets the eye. The bottom line is simple. An allegation doesn't make someone guilty. This applies to Daniel Greene as much as it applies to everyone else. It's important to remember that accusations are not proof of wrongdoing in any way. Without all the facts, we cannot and should not rush to judgment. Reacting too quickly only harms the individuals involved and causes unnecessary damage. The book community should be a wonderful, thoughtful space, but for that to happen, people need to hold themselves to higher standards. They need to stop jumping to conclusions based on emotions or incomplete information. Instead, they must wait for facts to emerge and approach every situation with patience, reason, and fairness. And rather than making a call out video and jumping on the bandwagon that I got accused of, clout chasing, maybe not make a video or have an opinion in the first place. His so called friends were so quick to throw him under a bus. It was astonishing. And yes, I firmly believe we need to hold Naomi accountable for the lies and manipulation in this situation. The actions, from spreading lies to offering shameful apology, only added to the chaos, half-baked truths, incomplete stories, and things missing from the conversation. Let's not let's let it not let it slide as part of the drama. Let's be real. Like I said, false accusations should be illegal. And false accusations take lives. At the end of the day, Daniel Greene not is not guilty simply because an accusation was made. Naomi King's lies made a situation worse, and a failed apology did nothing to repair the harm caused. We must remember that, in any situation, accusations should never be treated as proof of guilt. It's critical to hold off judgment until all the facts come to light, or maybe not get involved or do any judgment at all. So, what can people do going forward? And I doubt anyone will listen to this because the internet, Booktube, the book community as a whole, but people need to commit to critical thinking, patience, and fairness. We need to resist the urge to feed into drama and take steps back, forming conclusions. The book community can and should be better, and people need to engage with those situations in a way that reflects the values of reason, integrity, and respect for the truth. So, what do you think about the situation? How do you think, as a community, it was handled? I want to know. Let's keep this conversation going, but let's do it reasonably. The truth will come out, and when it does, all the better for having approached it with patience. Let's be real.